Thawadi Yahweh Bashim Yahusha, Thawadi Yahweh Bashim Yahusha, Thawadi Yahweh Bashim Yahusha, Thawadi Yahweh Bashim Yahusha. All praise, glory, and honor go to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKadosh, Barakatham. Peace and blessings to those for the elect, 144, the rest of 1/3, all my apostles, elders, and bishops who grew well in GMS, the Malakim, you know what I'm saying, and all the Speckled Bird and Akawathim who are truth. Shalom, shalom. Here we go. Elder Malcolm are going to break it off to you. Then I'll hit you with a couple scripture. That's right.
Sin category. All right? You don't have to say anything degrading. You don't have to say anything racially insulting or anything like that. All you have to do is just simply tell the truth. All right?
The lobby, the trend.
You don't have to say anything, expose anything.
Hold up.
Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKadosh, double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerely risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. There will be judges, the 144,000 in Tabernacle of David, ordained to be the ruling class people, the ruling government here on earth as it is in heaven. The kingdom of heaven is going to be an earthly realm, and it will be ruled by the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes, all right, set up by who the Lord fraudulently and falsely calls JC. His name is Yahweh Shai. Always was, always will be. And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black only thing. And to the few Wakwaf that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming into another lesson in truth. All right, don't get it twisted. Or the primary body of the Israelites on earth today are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and of course the scattered that are scattered among the heathen. I'm going to read the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right, and I'm going to open with this scripture. This is Habakkuk 2 and 1, and it reads, "And I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may learn that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. It is not tarrying. The end is drawing near quickly. All right, they're behind on this thing. They need catastrophe, war, famine, and pestilence in order to move to the next stage. All right, one of the main things that they need to do, or two of the main things they need to do, is to get rid of the Bible and to get rid of the Constitution. And they're working on both those things as we speak. All right, it's happening. And in the midst of this, Esau, Edom is being exposed. And in the midst of that is being proven, it has been proven. And the world is beginning to see the evils of the Israelis and the fraud. The world now knows that they are not the Israelites. This is a well-known thing worldwide, but you have to understand, the majority, the same way that Iran has the Straits of Hormuz blocked, they have the information highway blocked the same way to counteract the truth of their fraud. All right, and the truth meaning that they are fraudulent people claiming to be the people of the Lord. They are identity thieves. As a matter of fact, the Moabites, that people in their ignorance call the Chinese today, refer to them as the name stealers, going back to the Dark Ages. in the early medieval days. They were referred to as the name stealers.
Do that.
All right?
Call.
They would steal you, take your goods, and claim to be you, and they make deals. Okay? So with that being said, we're gonna, this is Global Insight Network with Colonel McGregor. I believe that either he's an insider being, paid opposition, okay, or he's going to be one of the main people. Maybe Colonel McGregor is going to step up and be one of those leaders, in this upcoming American Second Civil War in this edition. Because, I believe that his troops and his former troops will still follow him. And he's definitely for the Constitution and for America to be put back at the way that they thought it was. America's never been right. But he's definitely against this administration and what they're doing.
Call.
Okay? So any further ado, Colonel McGregor
explains this entire war. If Israel was not in this equation, if the relationship between the American political system and the Israeli government and its lobby did not exist the way it currently exists, the United States and Iran could work out a settlement relatively quickly. Not easily, diplomatically complex, requiring serious negotiation, but achievable. Because Iran is not a meaningful military threat to the United States. It cannot project force across the Atlantic. It cannot threaten American cities. It cannot challenge American economic dominance at the global level. The things that Iran does that create friction with American interests are things that can be managed through diplomacy, through trade relationships, through the normal toolkit of great power relations that has been used to manage far more dangerous adversaries throughout American history. The reason this war is happening, the reason it started, the reason it continues, the reason every off-ramp that rational analysis identifies as available has been blocked.
Watch what sex
Son
does
of a
to your prostate.
That ain't
Best way to fix prostate problems? Saw palmetto.
the fuck up.
Is not American strategic interest. It is Israel. And
There it is. And that lobby, these foreign entities that completely rule over non-elected officials that are ruling over America and making decisions for the embetterment of the Israelis in the land of Israel, in America and abroad. And the world is seeing it. And Americans are finally waking up to it, and they don't like it. Some of us been warning you all the whole time, right? But that's the thing. You start getting labeled, the anti-word. They got that anti-shield, and in the moment that you expose anything about their wrongdoings, you get put into that anti-sim category, all right? You don't have to say anything degrading. You don't have to say anything racially insulting or anything like that. All you have to do is just simply tell the truth, all right?
a lobby that translates Israeli strategic preferences into American foreign policy decisions.
And that's exactly what the problem is. All right. And they have led America into this trap which they cannot get out of. This is Jeremiah 49 and 20. And it reads, therefore is the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom. All right. So this is we know through the scriptures and through understanding that that the Israelis are indeed what they claim to hate, which is the Amalekites. Okay, they are Amalek, and Amalek and Edom is prophesied to be in the land of Israel in the last days, ruling. All right, and Edom is the ruling class people on earth today. And the Edomites, well, Colonel McGregor is more than likely an Edomite, and biblically, he is what the Edomite looked like. Okay, red. And they said red all over like a hairy garment. Not, and they're exactly what they are. They're not white. They're really red. And they refer to themselves as white today. Back to the scripture. Therefore, the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So it's going to be the least. The Israelis are actually the least of the Edomite race. Okay? And they've hijacked the blessing from the rest of Edom. This is why Edomite America is so angry. And the people can see it, that their country is basically being ruled in favor of the Israelis and not, and not for the favor of the Americans. B.B. Milkowski said something the other day. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, here we go. Because basically, they're done with America. That's why they're driving it into the ground. Okay? They're done with it. Here we go. Let me,
Told you last night, there's no more milk to suck dry. Netanyahu just told you last night, national television. Israel is ending the self-reliance. There's no more milk to suck dry. Netanyahu just told you last night, national television. Israel is ending the self-reliance of U.S. foreign aid. Israel takes in billions of dollars every single year. Why would they want to end that? This reminds me of a quote back in 1990 by Netanyahu. He said, America's the golden calf. We will chop it up. We will suck it dry. We will sell it off to every part of the world until it is the largest welfare state that we control and own. Guys, there's no more milk for them to suck dry. There's no more milk to suck dry.
Yeah, so they would suck those titties dry, man. There's nothing else left to take. They're done with America. All right? And so that's why they want, to send off your sons and your daughters to go fight their wars. It's funny how there's never a strong presence of IDF in any of these wars that they start over there in the Levant, that they start in Western Asia. Because the Middle East is Western Asia. All right, they call you other Edomites Goyim. You be a good Goy and go fight our battle and die for us. Thank you for your sacrifice. Okay? Now I'm going to build up and live deliciously and all you get is a coffin. Or you go back all messed up physically and you can't even, you can barely get any assistance, any veterans things, but while the Israelis got free health care, they get free college, subsidize this, subsidize that, and the fact that they get billions and billions of dollars. And Bibi told you in that interview that he's going to not take the 3.8 billion yearly, and it's way more than that anymore. And why is it? Because there's no more to give. That's why. We're at the end of this thing. This is the war to end all wars. This is Jeremiah 49, back in 49 and 10. I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, his brethren, his neighbors, and he is not. Going back up to verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is the counsel perish from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Everything that they do, they expose themselves. Because that power was in secrecy, and now there's no more secrecy. The problem is that the social media is faster than the mainstream medias that they control. All right, and information can be shared faster than they can then they can control. Okay, and you read these headlines, and now and now they want to attack Michael again. Remember, I always look every time that pale males, white males, are brought before the world, showing their wickedness, their cruelty, their evilness, they have to counteract it and attack somebody who's brown, preferably Jake. All right, and now that and the information came forth that Michael Jackson. And this is off topic, but it's on the screen. That's the only reason I mentioned it. It's been proven, through witness accounts and some of the young people who went to Neverland, that he was saving kids from Epstein Island and letting them come and be kids at Neverland. Yeah. So they wouldn't have to go to Epstein Island and be sexually exploited.
That's right. That's true.
And that was the testimony of the people who actually, who were there with him. And it turns out that some of the Epstein files supported that claim. So anyway, let's now let the spirit of Psalm 64:8 move it even more. As a matter of fact, now that I mentioned, I may as well read it. And it reads, "So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away." That was Psalm 64:8. So let's let Clayton and his wife, drop their tongue upon their own. You see how red Clayton is, just like the Edomites, red all over. Okay, red is not ruddy. Ruddy is actually like a brownish maroon chestnut color. But yeah, let's let their tongue fall upon themselves.
The funny part, he doesn't. According to Iranian media, the problem here is that Washington's so-called peace proposal didn't look like a peace proposal at all. It looked like a surrender document, and Iran wasn't happy. Iran is holding all the cards here, so they went in the opposite direction. They want an end to U.S. sanctions, the release of frozen Iranian assets, the right to sell its oil freely to whomever they want, and they want control of the Strait of Hormuz, so that's a non-starter. So Trump threatened more war, and he's doing the bidding of bidding.
Which they're never going to give the Straits of Hormuz back, and America is in no position to take it back. For the Iranians destroyed 13 of American bases that were in Western Asia, which you fraudulently call the Middle East. All right? And I think the Saudis cut them off from their airspace, but now they're just lately working on some sort of negotiation to let them fly their planes so they can land and refuel. Basically, America doesn't have a place to really set up shop so that they can fight. The only thing left for them to do is to shoot arrows. The ones that melt the elements. And if they do that, it won't be America that does that. The least of the flock will be the ones that do that. And when they do, they're going to get wiped off the face of the earth, according to China and Russia and other people in that region. Well, actually, according to the Bible, because the Bible says that too.
Netanyahu, of course, went on Larry Ellison's own 60 Minutes last night and essentially begged for more war, laying out exactly how he wants President Trump to carry this out. Watch.
How do you envision the highly enriched uranium will be removed from Iran?
You go in and you take it out.
With what? Special forces from Israel? Special forces of the United States?
Well, I'm not going to talk about military means, but what President Trump has said to me, I want to go in there. And I think it can be done physically. That's not the problem. If you have an agreement and you go in and you take it out, why not? That's the best way.
What if there isn't an agreement? Can it be taken out by force?
Well, you're going to ask me these questions. I'm going to dodge them because I'm not going to talk about our military possibilities, plans, or anything of the kind.
And I'm just trying to get at how long is it going to take to achieve that aim?
I'm not going to give a timetable to it, but I'm going to say that's a terrifically important issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Notice the words you go in. You're an American. I'm not going to talk about what our military does, meaning your military that I dictate.
Exactly.
I hope you noticed those things, because I certainly did.
Oh yeah, it's all about us. It's the United States. We're not in a position to do that. We want the United States to do that. He did say we are winning on about 7 different battlefields right now, but completely exposed on the 8th battlefield, which is social media. So losing the propaganda war, and he says we need to fix this. Watch.
And propaganda is a control narrative, which means a lie. And Western media, all right, and the only reason you get questions like this because it's on RT, all right, it's been shown through RT on, you see they're not even using the CBS, they're showing it through RT, but you get a controlled narrative from the West, means you're getting a lie. The way that they shape everything, they do it in the history books, they do it in their television programming, they do it when they do different series, historical documents, documentaries. It's all a controlled narrative. They don't tell the truth.
Never did.
Okay? And it's all a lie.
The deterioration of the support for Israel in the United States almost, I would say, correlates almost 100%.
100% of discontent and lack of support for Israel in the United States from the citizens, not from within the government, because they placed all their people in there, with medical, judicial, and within law. At the top of almost every organization, including the textbooks, and no matter what education, the little hats are there at the top of it. And especially when it comes to media, they control everything, and you can't unsee it now that it's been seen. You can't, and that's where we are. People like the murder and genocide. I just watched a video and they were just beating up some dude, beat him senseless in his house, and they lied and said that his family and his friends attacked him, and they didn't. He was just a guy who was helpless, being jumped and beat up by a gang of IDF soldiers. There's about 4 or 5 of them beating up on one guy who was not resisting them. But when you punch and kick people, it's an automatic. They begin to cover up their head and their faces and their body to try to stop the blows. And I guess if you just don't, leave your face exposed and let your stomach be exposed so they can stomp on it and knee you in it, you're just gonna go ahead and do it, and if you don't do that, then they'll call it resisting. And you see the same thing here in America. You'll see cops punch a subject, they'll punch them in the head, and then when they try to cover their face, they scream that they're resisting. All right. And the more the more they try to pull their hand, they're trying to cover up from the punches, and it's not their resistance. It's an automatic reflex that you can't even control to cover up and protect yourself, and they exploit that, And then when they do get them handcuffed, you see 5 guys with their knees on the necks, back, and stomachs of one guy, handcuffed, with all that weight on them, and people are kicking and punching them. This is Esau Edom, man. These people are just cruel and wicked. They truly are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. All right? And they're just being found liars. This is why they've lost so much support, because they're liars, and you can't unsee it now. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Happy art thou, Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. I'm treading upon their high places right now. Because you got to remember, their house is a house of lies, and anytime the truth is told, it tears down the house. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
I noticed the words you. You go in. You're an American.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about what our military does, meaning your military that I dictate. I hope you noticed those things because I certainly did.
Oh yeah, it's all about us. It's the United States. We're not in a position to do that. We want the United States to do that. He did say we are winning on about 7 different battlefields right now, but completely exposed on the 8th battlefield, which is social media. So losing the propaganda war, and he says we need to fix this. Watch.
You've seen the deterioration of the support for Israel in the United States almost, I would say, correlates almost 100% with the geometric rise of social media. And that by itself is not what caused it. And I don't believe in censoring them or anything, but I'll tell you what happened.
Yes, you do.
We have several countries that basically manipulated social media, and they do it in a clever way. And that's something that has hurt us badly.
Is it your belief, Mr. Prime Minister, that nothing that Israel has done, tactically or strategically, has made no mistakes, either in Gaza or the West Bank, that have, in their own way, contributed to this negative impression?
Look, I got a video about the Israelis having dogs rape inmates, men and women. Okay? We all saw the rape, when they blocked off with the shields. And then the Israeli official who was punished for punishing those soldiers, for exposing those soldiers. So we know it happened. And then you saw the Israeli citizens come out and basically riot almost, not for the victim, but for the soldiers that they have the right to rape, because that's a part of the Talmudic law, which is another thing that lets you know that they're not the Israelites, they're not the people of the Lord. The people of the Lord will use no other book. Isaiah 34:16 says there is no book to make with the Holy Scriptures. Okay? So everyone's watched, this murder and mistreatment of these people on the world scale, live and in person. There's no manipulation to that. You can't unsee their evil.
Of Israel, whether it's on social media or someplace else.
No, of course, look, it's war. And in war, armies sometimes miss, and civilians die. And these are mistakes. These are not.
All right, and then, the whole thing, the Samson option on October 7th, it turned out that many of the Israeli citizens were actually killed by their own soldiers, by the IDF, because that's part of they don't want you to be taken alive, and all that other mess. This man, that's why certain things he says, he looks down and looks away.
Deliberate things that happen. Israel is besieged on the media front, on the propaganda front, and we've not done well on the propaganda war.
So we need more propaganda.
Mistakenly
We need more lies.
disassembled all their food supplies, farms, factories, and infrastructure. That was a mistake.
And it was also
It was a war crime mistake.
It was just a mistake when our snipers intentionally would shoot children in the head. It was just a mistake. Do these things happen in the fog of war when you intentionally targeted surgeons inside of hospitals through windows as they're attending to people in the hospitals? That's just
God damn. Snipers to shoot doctors while they're operating, trying to save people. All right? Because those people just happen not to be Israelis. Okay, this is these are some, right? Or they would commit an atrocity and then wait for the medics to come in and wait for the ambulances to get close and then detonate, the second. Yeah, man. This is Jeremiah 50 and 45. And it reads, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon. And that's this place, because they operate out of Babylon. Babylon is actually the sword that they control. The Israelis are the fist that hold that sword, which is American military. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. Everyone's going to hear Babylon scream in agony and pain when that Yahushua comes back, all right, and wipes this place out, all right? When the Lord power sends his son to level this place. Call the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash Kwam Yasirala Abba.
Yeah, you done, Doubles. You're done. You're done. Completely. All them lies. All those damn lies about them damn stinking ass Amalekites. All them lies. It's ridiculous, man. Real ridiculous. Makes no sense. No sense. Look at them.
Okay? So, and basically riot almost, not for the victim, but for the soldiers that they have the right to rape, because that's a part of their Talmudic law, which is another thing that lets you know that they're not the Israelites, they're not the people of the Lord. The people of the Lord will use no other book.
That's right.
Isaiah 34:16 says there is no book to make with the Holy Scriptures. Okay? So everyone's watched, this murder and mistreatment of these people on the world scale, live and in person. There's no manipulation to that. You can't unsee their evil.
Of Israel, whether it's on social media or someplace else.
No, of course. Look, it's war. And in war, armies sometimes miss, and civilians die. And these are mistakes. These are not.
Big head.
All right, and then, the whole thing,
Look at his head.
The Samson option on October 7th.
Look at his
it
head.
turned out that many of the Israeli citizens were actually killed by their own soldiers, by the IDF, because that's part of they don't want you to be taken alive and all that other mess.
Yeah, because they're going to tell him.
That's why certain things he says, he looks down and looks away.
Look at that big ass head. Just a big ass liar. The Lord tell you, Exodus 15:3, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is a man of war. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is his name. You're done, devil. Ball.